What is up, everybody? Today I got my Sanitmax 2000. I've had the 1000. I've had it for well over a year now. I've been using it quite a bit. I like it a lot. The things that it's lacking, are all on the new Sanitmax 2000. So I'll go over that right now. I just kind of want to make a video of how you get this product. This company has been really nice to deal with. Any kind of questions or troubleshooting that I've had, I email them and they get right back to me and give me some things to do. So like, they've been a really good company to deal with. So this is the Sanitmax 2000. The first one that I had is and I still have it. I'm going to keep it as a backup unit. But this one has all the things that I needed out of my Sanitmax 1000. So some of the biggest things is the capacity of this thing. It's got twice the capacity. It's got a gun with a trigger on it as opposed to just a free-flowing one that you have to go over and hit the button every time to turn it on and off. When you're doing engine compartments and trying to get around delicate items when you're dry ice blasting, it's really tricky to do that. So I really needed something with a trigger on it. And then it also has the denim anti-static covers on these, which is a big thing too, because when you're dragging this thing around and it's really kind of messy, this grabs all that dust, dirt, metal, whatever you're working with, and it becomes kind of a mess. So this is a nice little add-on to keep that from happening, essentially. And then, so yeah, the biggest thing for me is the trigger setup. Twice as much room here to put dry ice in, so you don't have to fill it as often. And then we've got bigger wheels here, so this thing rolls a lot nicer than it did before, because it had 4 small wheels and it would get jammed up on stuff really easy. So this thing, I'm excited to test this out. I'll make kind of a quick video on setting it up. And then we'll make another video on how it performs, because I haven't used this thing yet, and I'll give you a really honest review on what I think of it. Now it should have the same characteristics of the Sanitmax 1000, because it doesn't have any more blasting power. It just has more space in the hopper for more dry ice, and it just has a trigger and bigger wheels and just some added things. So Sanitmax is definitely listening to people. Comes with a nice manual and some fittings and some much better attachments, much better. So I'm excited to use these attachments here. So it's got a nice little instruction manual here. Here's your grounding strap. This looks nicer than the Sanitmax 1000 for sure. So you put this and ground it out. Another scooper, so I've got 2 of those now. And then we've got safety glasses, gloves, ear protection. This thing's pretty loud. So, and in my other video, I'll kind of go over what you should have, like when it comes to the main thing. When I started getting into dry ice blasting, I don't do it full time. It's an add-on. You see a car behind me. It's a service that I provide for my restorative details. So I'm going to blast the wheel wells, the suspension. I'm going to take some undercoating off. I'm going to put some undercoating back. We're going to treat rust on this thing. It's a 2003 Panos Esperante. And so we're going to go over that in another video, but this thing should do a lot better. My other machine worked fine, but this one will do a lot better for with the trigger setup and just more dry ice in here. But I'll go over kind of how to use it, and I got to get some time spent with it first before I do that. But I'll be doing that in the next couple of days. So yeah, I'm excited to try this thing out. Yeah, thank you to Sanitmax for helping me out, working me a deal on this thing because I wanted to upgrade. So, great company to deal with. So, hold tight. We're gonna connect some things up here real quick. I'm gonna read the directions and then gonna hook this up. All right, so we're gonna do this together here. We're just gonna figure out how to set this thing up. It shouldn't be too much different than the Sanitmax 1000. I've set that up really quickly. Here's your hose. When it comes to doing the hose, I know you have a natural inclination to cut this thing. I would recommend just unwrapping it. You don't want to cut one of these lines here. That would be bad news. So don't use any kind of scissors or even snippers on it. Just unwrap it. You don't want to cut a hole in that. That'll ruin your day for sure. And then we've got both sides here. Everything's really well labeled. We have a compressed air inlet, and then we have a dry ice export. So this is going to be your export, and this is going to be your import here. And so if I can thread this. All right, we'll want to tighten all this stuff up really nice. So there's that, and this is going to go to your air source. Now I'm curious to see if that's the same as my other unit, but we'll find out. So it's good to note that there's a lot more information in these directions than what they sent you with the Sanitmax 1000. They kind of explain how to clean combustion chambers or like heads, intakes, throttle body deposits, just some general information. A lot of stuff you can find online for that on YouTube. Cleaning of engine and turbochargers. So there's a lot of like, carbon cleaning. So there's a lot of information on how to maintain these things well. Take them apart, let them dry after every use. Don't leave dry ice in the hopper. Use it all up so that you don't get a bunch of water condensation in there. So cleaning operation, just how to use it. So just that kind of stuff. And I'll be going through that in another video on how to use this machine once I get some hours with it. Kind of the trial and error thing sometimes too. That's how this kind of process has been for me. And it's just important for me to let you know what kind of compressors you need, and you need a dryer system for the compressors. Because if you don't have at least 35 CFM, I believe it's at like 120 PSI, then this thing's not going to work very well at all. So you need at least that. So you're going to need either like a screw type compressor, rotary, or two pretty good sized compressors like I have. One's a 7.5 horse and one's a 5 horsepower. And I run them in conjunction with each other. So cool. All right, well, let's put this thing together here. All right, so this is how this comes with this end here. So what I did is I have a Harbor Freight. I think this is a 1/2 inch, and I think this is good for up to 300 PSI, and I think this is a 50 foot because I like to be able to take it further. I also bought this online. I don't have crazy pressures, but I still like to have this. So if this thing were to let loose or pop up, it wouldn't smack me in the face. So you can get these on Amazon. I can put a link to, I think I got these on Amazon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this fitting here that I got at Harbor Freight. This is a 1/2 inch male, and I'm gonna put that in here. I'm gonna use this blue monster tape, and then we're gonna connect it up to air and hook this outlet one up, and then we'll be ready to rock. Put some power to it, ground it out, and basically that's how simple the setup is. Now it's a little tougher your first round when you're trying to figure out your compressor setup and buying the hose and all that. but I can help everyone with that because there wasn't any videos helping me with what to buy when I was trying to do this. It was a lot of trial and error on getting enough compressor output, CFM, and fittings and all that stuff. So my goal is to help people that want to get into like basic dry ice blasting, entry level, because that's kind of what this is. It's not a heavy duty industrial machine, but I can see Sanitmax doing maybe even a bigger machine in the near future. That would be cool. I would totally buy it. But in the meantime, this machine works really good. My Sanitmax 1000. So I'm excited to try this out here. So we'll tighten this up. We'll connect air. Then we'll hook up the output hose and the whatever fitting we want to try out here in the end. And we'll hook this up down below here. And rock and roll. All right, so we've got air connected. I haven't put power to it yet. Make sure you take everything out of here. Then now we're going to hook the, this is the output hose. It's got a little red cover on there. We're going to take that off, just protecting the threads. All right, and we're going to tighten both of these up because I never tightened this one up. I usually just keep one of these type of wrenches on the back of the machine. There's a little space to put some tools, and I'll just snug it. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just snug it down. You want to be able to take it off because after every use, you're going to want to take at least the output off so that this thing can dry out, and so that the system can dry all the way out. All right, and then we have the switch here. This is for your power for the trigger, and this only goes one way in here. It's got a little indentation in it, so it fits in there. And just screw that on. All right, and we're done with that. Then we're going to pick which attachment we want to use. I've been dying to try this little one out here. This flat one. So we're going to screw that in here. All right, so this is going a little bit hard the first time because threads need to get paired up. All right, and voila, it's all the way on here. All right, so we're ready to kick some power on. I just want to make sure this thing turns on and sprays some ice.
So you're going to want to put all the three of these buttons to the down position here. Your lights are going to turn on. I'm messing with it. I'm doing it wrong here, but all the way down there. You got your air, your power, all that. Trigger. Push the trigger. Good to go. Ice is coming out of there, so we're good to start.
All right, so let's talk about how much I love this thing. We're gonna compare it to the Sanitmax 1000 because that's all I have to base it off of is their first machine. This thing is light years better, twice the capacity size. It doesn't have more power, but it just feels like it has more power. The attachments are great. My favorite attachments are this guy right here. This one you see in the video with me blasting this guy. And then you'll also kind of get the most power out of a smaller orifice here. I like the one that goes straight out of here. This one has a little bit of a bend to it if you're trying to get to specific areas. So this thing's just amazing. I think the biggest thing about it is just it's way easier to use. The trigger is definitely the best part. It has the anti-static denim cover that doesn't attract a bunch of dirt, debris, and moisture and everything. So it's way less messy. It's just far easier to use than the Sanitmax 1000 that they first came out with. So you just pretty much hook this thing up, fill it up. Like I said, twice the capacity, so I don't have to refill this thing all the time. I can go a couple hours with it before I have to fill it back up. And you just power, air, ice, turn these on. I generally run the ice about 50 to 75%, 100% if I'm really trying to get some nasty stuff off there. We'll take a look at this panel's underside real quick because you saw the video of me blasting. Spent quite a few hours underneath there. Now dry ice blasting, it's not a quick and easy thing to do. It's not rocket science, but it's just kind of going, bird just flew in here. Oh, see ya. And it's just working little spaces and trying not to miss things and different angles. You have to see it from different angles, but I enjoy it. A lot of looking up. But let's go take a look here real quick at the underside of this panos. And you can judge for yourself on how good it looks after blasting everything. So I treated the rust, neutralized it, blasted everything. We had rust here, we had rust everywhere. We treated it, and then we put a 6 month to a year coating on it that's gonna protect it. The transmission got that really clean. And got most all the grime on it. There's still a tiny bit here and there, but you have to stay within customers' expectations and budget. You could go forever on some of these projects. But it looks light years better, and yeah, it's just completely clean in here. All that cleaned up, cleaned this as best as possible. So yeah, it exceeds my expectations, this machine. I would highly recommend it. They don't sell the Sanitmax 1000 anymore because why would they? This is around the same price point. I think just got shipped and everything. It's probably going to be around $3,000 or so after taxes and everything. But I think it's completely worth it. There's nothing else on the market like this for the price point. If you're trying to get into entry-level blasting or adding it to concourse type detail work like I do, then I think it's a great option. You're still going to have to spend thousands on compressors and a dryer system. You could probably run this thing off of one really hefty compressor, but it'd have to be screw type or rotary because they like to run a lot and they produce a lot of CFM. But for me, I'm running two Champions sequentially. One's a 7 horse, one's a 5 horse, and it works pretty well. But will I upgrade at some point? Yes, but it does the job for now. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you like this content. I don't do it for money. I just like to share. This was a really hard project for me to get into, dry ice blasting. Not a lot of info on it, but Sanitmax was great, helping me get this machine and test it out. And yeah, I love it. I hope that they keep making them and that I can get an even beefier system at some point. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.